My mother actually just texted me a screenshot of the Weeknd and Michael Jackson from the Weeknd's. Uh, I guess it's like a fan page on Instagram or something, but it's got an image here of Michael and the Weeknd, and the caption says MJ on the Dawn. So I guess the Dawn is the Weeknd's newest album, and we know it's gonna be super like synth pop, like you know, uh, 80s, you know, loud drums, synthesizer chords, you know, reverb vocals, stuff that we've kind of heard the Weeknd tap into, especially with his new song, which I actually do like, and I'm down with that. I love the 80s. I love 80s synth pop. It's one of my favorite genres because it kind of was the evolution of modern dance and house music, in part. More so with like the disco house scene, which is one of my favorites, but that's another discussion. But with the Weeknd, it's definitely intriguing, and we know Michael has a lot of unreleased music out there, so it's totally possible that we could see a Michael feature on the Weeknd's album. I mean, we saw a Michael feature on the Drake album a couple of years ago, which was an interesting pairing, but I wasn't that big into that track, to be honest, as much as I love Michael, and I think Michael's vocals on it are great, but it just like him with Drake just wasn't a good mesh. They didn't have very good chemistry. And again, like a posthumous Michael feature just feels very like, I don't know. A posthumous Michael feature is always just kind of like never been that exciting to me, just because the excitement of Michael's music is like putting yourself in that headspace when he made the song, and like with his posthumous features just being added on to a Drake track or a Weekend track or whatever. I don't know. It can be hit or miss, and I feel like that's a lot of the way with posthumous features and posthumous projects in general. You get caught in those kind of situations where you're just like, I don't know, this doesn't feel authentic. You don't. It doesn't. It kind of lacks the authenticity uh, of a natural feature, where they're in the studio, even like the Michael Will I Am, like Fergie songs that are on the Bad 25 album, like even those songs like have that authenticity to them, because Michael was in the studio working with Will I Am and Fergie, and even though those songs suck, the compared to the original versions of the song, but it still has that magic to it that I think just the posthumous Michael feature can't give you. So, I mean, yeah, that's kind of my take on it. I don't hate it, but again, it's just and I feel like it could work with Michael and the Weeknd. It would be interesting to hear them try and layer those vocals. Like I feel like they could have a lot of fun with that, but at the same time, it's just like I feel like it's just gonna come off as pretty gimmicky instead of like hitting hard and being like an emotional thing, and like especially like because the Weeknd wasn't really a thing until after Michael. Um, and I guess Drake wasn't either. Drake was just kind of coming on the scene as Michael had passed. So we'll see what happens with it. Again, I'm not against it, and I think it could work, especially if it's just a one track thing. But there's only so much Michael that's out there now. That's the thing when that happens with posthumous artists releases, is that there's just only so much out there, and a lot of it's unfinished, a lot of it's very rough, and it wasn't supposed to be released to the public for a reason, because it wasn't finished. And that's always kind of my problem with it, is like, I get that they want to get it out to the people anyway, and Michael's demos, or even some of his demos, are even better than his like actual songs. So again, I don't know. I mean, I'm intrigued by the whole idea of it, but at the same time, it's just like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. The jury's out on. I'll have to listen to the track if it ever even exists, but I'm sure because the Weeknd posted that Captain EO poster, um, it kind of leads me to believe he's at least going in that direction of like an '80s Michael, uh, you know, post thriller, between thriller and bad victory kind of era Michael. interesting if that's like the vibe he's going for, because it definitely, you know, the his newest single, what is it even called? The Weeknd's newest single that came out, "Take My Breath." Yeah, take my breath. Yeah, that track, you know, definitely has that 80s vibe to it. So that mid 80s vibe to it. So I think that's definitely what he's going for. Because I mean, his last album had a lot of 80s synth styled songs, and "Save Your Tears" is a fantastic track. I still love that one. So again, if you know, I'm fine with The Weeknd doing it more so than a lot of other artists that could and have done it, like Drake, because Drake just did not fit with Michael's vibe at all, in my opinion. But I think The Weeknd's style, and especially the direction he's going in, could be more advantageous for a Michael feature. So sure, why not? 2021, fam.